Okay, so on this problem, we need to remember the order of operations that says first we must do what is inside of any parentheses, then exponents, then we multiply and divide from left to right, and finally we add and subtract from left to right. So if we look at this problem, there's no parentheses that we need to simplify within the parentheses. There's no exponents. So now we'll look at our multiplying and dividing going left to right. So left to right, there's a division right off the bat. Then there's an addition, and then there's another division. So by order of operations, we have to do those divisions first, and then we'll do our adding. So first of all, we have 27 divided by a -9. So that's a positive divided by negative. So that would give us a -3. And then a 72 divided by -9 would be a -8. And now we can go in and do the add subtract part of this. -3 plus -8. Negative plus negative is always more negative. So our final answer would be -11. Okay, so for -1.2 minus 10.5, we have a minus a negative, or a negative minus a number, which is the same as adding the -10.5. You could rewrite this as 1.2 plus -10.5. That means the same thing. Okay. Now, for some people, it's helpful to actually line up these problems vertically when you've got decimals. So let's do that, -1.2. And when you line it up vertically, you need to make sure that you've got the place values all lined up and the decimals lined up. So let's consider our place values here. So here we've got a 1 in the tens place, a 0 in the ones place, the decimal. Then we have 5/10ths, and after tenths would come hundredths. Like if you're rounding to the nearest penny, that would be hundredths. Then would come thousandths, 10,000ths, 100,000ths, millionths, 10 millionths, 100 millionths, and so on. If you go to the left of the decimal place, you've got ones, tens. The next place to the left would be hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s, millions, 10 millions, 100 millions, billions, 10 billions, 100 billions, and so on. So it's really important that you line up the decimal places so you don't mix up those place values. Okay, so written out, this number, the -1.2, really means -1 and 2/10. And that "and" represents the decimal place. The other one is -10 and 5/10. So it's kind of like terms that we did in algebra. You want to combine the tenths together. If we had hundredths, you want to combine them. If you had thousandths, you would want to combine them. And of course, we have ones and we have tens place. So here we can put the 2/10 and the 5/10 is 7/10. And 10 plus 1 is 11. And negative plus negative is always more negative. So the signs are the same, so we just add the numbers and we take it as a negative. We can also check this up in Desmos as -1.2 minus 10.5, and there you can see the -11.7.